distinguished experts for the guys, and I guess gathering over here. At the outset, I must convey my sincere thanks to Government of Jharkhand for giving me this opportunity to be over here, because this is my first visit to Jharkhand and this area. I basically come from project side. Recently, it was a chance for last 1.5 years in the government of India. Before that, I was there with the government of Rajasthan as a managing director of the Rajcom public sector, looking after e-governance IT projects. So it is a good opportunity for me to talk about the capacity building also. Now, what is happening is, what preparation I used to carry before coming over here and listening to the members about the Jharkhand, it has taken a shape differently. It has got 180 degrees, because I had something in my mind listening to TV and going to the movies and games, especially about Bihar and Jharkhand. So day before yesterday I was there in the Bihar. Today I am here. You have to find the way we listen in the media and the way things are happening here, both are different. Now, coming to the topic of e-governance, what is happening is, whenever we are talking about e-governance, the general impression which Chief Secretary Rajesh Sharma also told in the morning, that it is an IT project. Let me tell you very frankly, e-governance is very small, the governance G is very big. That itself indicates that the e-governance component of IT is 15 to 20%. It is the governance only which plays the role. So which means basically, if you want to use the IT and if you want to go for the real e-governance, resulting into a smart governance, because the terms have been coined by the politicians only. They say we want a smart government. Or they say the smart governance is simple, modular, transparent, adaptive, responsive, like this. So to ensure that we are going for e-governance system, what is more important is that governance has to be good. IT component gets like it slowly. Now, as far as our activities are concerned, LIT basically is a government organization where we have been doing capacity building, not in the form of digital literacy only. We have been running number of multiple formal and non-formal courses, which include CCC course, BCC course, for which even the government of Jharkhand has also signed an MOU. Although they couldn't get it implemented because of another reason, today in the morning when I spoke to the Chief Secretary, he has assured me that we will get it done within lunch time. I think it is line with the Honorable CM for approval. The basic purpose of that is basically, because I do appreciate that this is the only state in the country, but I keep saying whenever I go for any meeting anywhere, that this is the only state in the country which has made CCC digital literacy the incremental approach. This is what I could understand from the MOU. Not a single state in the country has done like that. So when the state has got a vision like this, it couldn't get implemented because of one of the other reasons, but I'm sure within a short time, the way I discussed with the Chief Secretary assured me, I think things will move. The purpose is that other states like Bihar, I don't know if you get a chance to go to Bihar, they have already mandate anybody who wants to get a job in the government, like Hindi, English, is to go through a digital literacy certificate. Similarly, Gujarat, MP, Maharashtra, even the south states, Karnataka, they are running. So why I am saying is basically, in the time to come, you may not be a literate, but for you to be a digital literate is a mandate. Why it is so? Because the time has come when the penetration of mobile is going up like anything. If you see, the PC penetration as of date is also 15 to 20%. Whereas the mobile penetration has gone 65%. Which means a person who is not literate even is able to use the mobile for communication purpose. So in the time to come, it is the digital literacy which will play a major role, because time to come, the e-governance will get replaced by m-governance, which in the morning also two speakers referred it out. It is a fact that in the time to come, even I think most of us we use iPad only for iPhones for doing half of our activity from when we are roaming here and there. So that's the way we have been concentrating mainly on courses which are linked with CCC, formal courses, non-formal courses. Even Government of India has assigned us the task, rather mandate, for training of government officers in the rank of Deputy Secretaries, Directors in the field of governance, e-governance, where we are conducting G1, G2 level training courses, 4 days, 3 days courses in Delhi. The purpose is that government is making a mandate. That's the system which is coming up. As you pass this e-governance exam, you will not be given a posting of your choice or maybe some increment. Because the time to come, it is a mandate that it is a government employee who has to operate the system. See, system making it very simple. But to implement and to own the system, that is the toughest part. The government projects get fail because we don't take the ownership. The moment we start taking ownership, things start rolling out. It has been observed that systems are basically individual driven. A new secretary comes, a new entrepreneur comes, a new businessman comes, he takes some initiative, that initiative moves. By the time he moves out, that initiative gets killed, new initiative is being taken up. So now we can't do research every time. So it is a time which has come where we are saying we have started a new sentence, a statement in the DIT, Government of India, that we have to go from application to replication, which means once an application has been developed, there is no need to go for reinventing of the applications. Let's replicate it out. That's the way we can save our resources. Now, as far as e-governance is concerned, it is basically based on 3 pillars: people, process, technology, which means the persons who are operating that or the persons who are using that is one pillar. Process, the government process, which are all almost 40 years, 80 years, 100 years back, and the technology. Technology is not an issue because it is already available in the market. We are ready to take care of that part. Technocrats are there, other technocrats of India are well known. Even you can see, this is the only sector which has given the maximum young millionaires to the country. Even few of the CMs have got married their daughter to the Infosys guy. It's a well-known right. So that's the way things are moving. Now, people is also concerned. So basically, we have to concentrate mainly on 2 activities. One is basically we have to plan capacity building for the citizens. See, what is happening is Government of India are putting around 2,000 to 3,000 crore rupees every year on e-governance projects. But we are not able to move the things because citizens are not able to write the real fruits from this activity. Even as on date, the villager or the common man doesn't know what are the facilities available to me. Still he goes to the police department, still he goes to the public or government officer, ask for the service. Now, few of the services are already available on the website or through some application. So we have to go for whatever application we develop, we have to ensure that the citizens need to be trained, they need to be going through an awareness course, they need to go through a digital literacy course so that they can at least operate their system. Secondly is the process. That is the toughest part in the government system to change, that means change management. The mind blockage has to change. Now in the past there was a system, in the present also there are number of places there is a system where you have to submit a file to one, it is his prerogative, he will see or not, and he will send it to someone else, it is his prerogative, he will see or not. Or even you can't make a correspondence to your senior to senior boss. That's the system. Now with the inclusion of e-office, with the inclusion of the email system, things are changing. I talk to my secretary immediately through e-office. I think I never send a physical file. I submit the file through e-office. Within half an hour, my secretary gives a clearance. Okay, go ahead, approve, not approve. So that's the way we are moving, especially in DIT. That's the way we are working out. Now, as far as other things are concerned, we have been conducting training on new concepts also, which include the cloud computing. That's a new technology which has come in the market. There is no need to have on infrastructure of the department. Why to create infrastructure, then demand for the manpower, then demand for the expertise, and we have a shortage of expertise, so we find it system problem. So, new concept of cloud computing is available, where the government is also saying that there is a cloud where you can take software as a service, you can take platform as a service, you can take infrastructure as a service. So, what you have to plan out is, you have to basically plan out for the process engineering, nothing else. Everything system will take care. Second advantage is, you pay for the usage which you avail. When you create your infrastructure, every state has created a data center. Every department is creating a state network. Every department is creating a state data center, on data center. Now what is happening is, you may use 2 terabyte out of 10 terabyte. 8 terabyte is of no use to you. But instead of this, suppose we created data center, or let's say cloud computing, where you need 2 terabyte, sometimes you need 1 terabyte, sometimes you need half terabyte, sometimes 2 gigabyte. So you pay as per usage. So that concept is coming out. So we are working on that also. Similarly, we have taken up training and technology part of the GIS, Geographical Information System. And I feel personally, listening to the experts over here, that GIS is most suitable for the state like Jharkhand, where you can find out where you got the mines, where you got the natural resources, how they are being taken care, because that's the time which is coming up. Why to dig whole road when you find there is a problem in the cable at one point? You have digged the whole road, and after 1 month you say, oh sorry, The error was at the beginning of the road. So that is the advantage and the power of the geographical information system. There also we have started capacity building. My Honorable Minister, the principal, made it mandate that we have to diversify to this field because this is the time, this is the technology where things will take place in the time to come. Similarly, new technology, new concept which is coming up in the market is the social networking. I think you must have heard of Facebook and everything. That's the time which will come. You must have seen in the morning also the data, the way things are moving out is basically Facebook. Everybody wants to chat on Facebook rather than to the manual system. Similarly, mobile computing. As I said, in the time to come, we'll find it is on the M governance rather than the E governance. So these are the new jargons which are coming up. Things are changing. Things are moving up. Then analysis part. This is the area which we have been lagging. Because what is happening is we have got lot of data with us. Every department has got million megabyte of data, gigabytes of data. But we have never done analysis. How that data can be put to the best use. Then what is happening is every department is trying to collect the data. How the data is very common. Name, sex name. I think if you see in our life, at least in my 50 years of my life, I think at least 1,000 times I have filled my name and my father's name. Railway ticket, name, father's name. School, name, father name. Wherever you go. So what I am saying is once you have generated data, it can be put to the use. Now how it can be put? This is through an IT application. That's the way IT has come into the picture. Now, what is happening is we have got a multiple divide, geographical divide, caste divide, cost divide, everything, income divide. Now, there is a digital divide also. To bridge that digital divide, it is very important, very mandate for us that we move out in a well-planned manner where we start going for e-country. That's the time which has come now, where we start giving free education to our youth or our citizens who are basically not literate through some application. Therefore, yesterday I was there in Patna, and I do remember Honorable CM Nitish Kumar ji. He showed a very good example, live example, where 6 females were there. They were not knowing Nalka, Amka, but they were able to operate on Android how to take care of the child. Suppose if they got a dysentery, how to take care, because they know the step. Press this, press this, press this. These are the medicines. They will show some label. They can go to my shop. They can buy. So that's the thing which we have to take out, because we have been discussing every state about Rajasthan, EMP, UP. But finally, the thing is that basically how to move about so that we make a concrete decision. And similarly, Nilik has been, as Sinha Sahab said just now, we have been in the process of online recruitment. We have been conducting online exams also, and I am thankful to Chief Secretary Sir in the morning when I had a discussion with him, because I know him from UIT and from DIT background. So he said, why don't you take up the technical manpower recruitment also with you? And today we are also planning to sign an agreement, MOU, just after this only, with the Ministry of NRHL. So that NRLM. Yeah, NRLM. So that basically we can move further and we can go for number of projects jointly. What I need basically is support from the state government, because Sinha Sahab is here, and I think other bureaucrats are also there from the government, that we have got 28 centers in almost 28 plus 7. But this is the only state, or maybe 2-3 states, where we do not have any center. And I think this state is full of land, full of built-up area. There is no shortage of that part. So I will just make a request, the way we have been getting support from other states. In case support is being given to us, NALED will be very keen, because I have to take up the proposal to the government of India only for final approval. We will be very keen to set up a center over here. The basic aim has been that we go for a capacity building and for implementing the e-government. Thank you very much.